And creating content itself is not what I'm passionate about, if that makes sense. Where some people are passionate about creating content, i.e., my husband. My husband enjoys the process of content. So yes, he wants his YouTube to grow, but he actually enjoys it. He enjoys the creative process. This is not the way my creativity is set up. I am not a visual person. I am not this creative. There's like, I'm not an artist. I'm not a good drawer. My creativity comes from creating something that doesn't exist into something, creating a business, creating, strategy. I'm a visionary. I've got an idea, and I get people under my idea and support me. When I think about it, a lot of the ideas that I've done and tried to implement or am implementing, people around me love it, are passionate about it, and support me in doing that. That's another way of being creative. I am that. Hey. It's been a long time. You to the tube. You to the tube. Okay. Welcome everyone. My name is Ngozi Cadmus, and welcome to the Ngozi Cadmus channel. I have been gone for a hot a while, and in all honesty, initially it was because of the TEDx. I completed my TEDx. So I was focused on that, and then I was recovering from that, and I just wasn't really motivated. I think I have to give up my hats. I have to give my hat up to content creators. I think many people assume that content creating is easy because, when we think about it in contrast to other jobs, and let's put it in context. In contrast to I don't know, a mechanical engineering, or in contrast to social work or psychotherapy, it cannot compare. But it's still difficult because, one, not everyone can do it. There's thousands of YouTubers, and not everybody makes money from it. Not everybody makes livable money from it, and not everybody is able to make a brand that goes even beyond that. So the reality is, if there is only a few people, and I say a few, it's still quite a lot of few, but not everybody is making millions and has, shows and has done many things outside and after YouTube. It's a percentage, probably 1 to 5% potentially, meaning that then it's hard. It's not easy to get and grab people's attention and hold it, and then turn those people's attentions into supporters, into subscribers, into people that pay for products or services that you provide, right? That's that, let alone the actual producing of the content, showing up, what idea you're going to talk about. Then if you edit the videos, all of that takes a lot of work. And I already knew that it took work. I never was under the illusion that it was easy. And I'm not even surprised at having a gap, because even though I'm very consistent, it did take something as big as TEDx to kind of then create the chasm between, I was doing it literally every single week, creating content, which is hard for me because I'm not this way wired, to now being in this situation where nearly 3 months went by with no content. And it wasn't like I wasn't saying I'm going to do it. It just never did, because I would have to wear makeup, and I just felt I don't want to wear makeup for no reason. I actually want to wear makeup if I'm actually going to do something. And every time I would wear makeup for something else, I just wouldn't plan it, or I wouldn't really get my husband to put all of this up for me to record. So I decided today to do it, mainly because the Instagram content will expire, meaning that the content that we've created and we've backed up will get to a point where there's no new content being uploaded. So it will mean that I need to create content. So I was like, okay, at least this content will last for maybe a week, and I've got to now create content for a few more weeks. The difficulty for me is, let me be very honest with you. One, I am extremely busy, and creating content itself is not what I'm passionate about, if that makes sense. Where some people are passionate about creating content, i.e., my husband. My husband enjoys the process of content. So yes, he wants his YouTube to grow, but he actually enjoys it. He enjoys the creative process. This is not the way my creativity is set up. I am not a visual person. I am not this creative. There's like, I'm not an artist. I'm not a good drawer. My creativity comes from creating something that doesn't exist into something, creating a business, creating, strategy. I'm a visionary. I've got an idea, and I I get people under my idea and support me. I've been, when I think about it, a lot of the ideas that I've done and tried to implement or am implementing, people around me love it, are passionate about it, and support me in doing that. That's another way of being creative. And I think a lot of us entrepreneurs that are not necessarily creating a creative business sometimes underestimate that is creativity. Like if I was to create a workshop, I can create a workshop in less than 2 hours or 3 hours. I'm not even talking with ChatGPT help. Now with ChatGPT help, I can create it in like an hour. But somebody can take a whole day to create a workshop. I can, if focus, I can create it in a couple of hours. My creativity is like that. My ADHD is a superpower where I can multitask. I will be creating that and also doing an assignment anyways. So my creativity is set up in a very different way. So I don't actually, if I'm going to be very honest, what I mean is I don't enjoy this process. I find it quite stressful. I find it stressful finding topics to talk about. There was no topic that piqued my interest enough. Or let me say that if it did, I just felt like the level of effort it would take for me to come on and wear makeup and talk about it, I didn't have the motivation for it. So that was the biggest issue. Because I talk about things that are trending, that I find interesting, that I think I can also provide a biblical and psychological perspective, I also don't actually find a lot of things interesting. I can talk about it for a minute and that's it. There's lots of things that happened this week that, I could talk about. Maybe I will talk about it just to add extra content as well. But I talk about it late. By the time all of this comes out, it's a week old, right? That's one of the issues that I have, is that I don't jump on things in the moment. But that's because I like the process, and I'm also busy. I'm running a business, I'm doing a doctorate, and I've got a startup that I'm doing. So you can imagine, and I still do social work, and I do things in my fellowship. So the amount of things that I'm doing is more than the average person. So adding YouTube and content creating on top is an added, burden. And because I don't enjoy the process, it is difficult then to remain consistent after I had a genuine break that was needed, because it's like, oh, I've got to get back on the horse. I find actually this process stressful.